to Health Alert. I'm Pam Butler. Today we're going to talk about the Fitting Back In program, and joining me is Dr. Billum Constable, the Executive Director. Hello, Dr. Constable.
Hello.
Now, welcome to the program. Yes, definitely.
Nice to be here.
Now, this is an exciting program that I think people really need to know about, because when I heard about it, I thought, what an awesome community program for people who really need support and assistance, as we all do in various points and stages in our life. So tell me a little bit about what is the Fitting Back In program?
Fitting Back In is a prison reentry program for ex-offenders after immediately released from incarceration.
Okay, now what how did this get started? I mean, sometimes we think about these kind of programs with a religious organization or something like that. How did this program get started? Where does it exist?
It gets started in 2006. Our pastor, Pastor Melvin Cooper, started the program along with myself. We both started this program in 2006 because we saw the need. And after seeing the need, I actually did a 2-year-long research on prison reentry programs, and not just in Tulsa but across the country, and see the effectiveness of the prison reentry program, because we had a number of people coming to our local church that were ex-offenders and seeking help, seeking something out there for someone to help them. So it started from that desire, that vision to help. And so we started as a part of the church, which is World One for Christ, and then we venture out to make it its own entity. So Fitting Back In is its own entity, no longer a part of the ministry, but it's its own faith-based nonprofit organization in Tulsa and out of Tulsa. Now we're nationwide because we do have an office now in Denver, Colorado, and expanding to Tennessee, Memphis, Tennessee, in July of this year.
Okay, now with this program then, since it's no longer, like I said, it has expanded tremendously. Tell me a little bit about the eligibility criteria other than being an ex-offender. I mean, at what point does the individual access this program? Is it upon release? Is it prior to release? Is there an age category? Do you only deal with males or females? Tell me about that.
There's criteria to this program, and you have to be 18 and older. We only deal with the adults, not young kids, but you have to be 18 and older. Cannot be a sex offender.
Okay. Based
on the laws in Oklahoma, we just don't have the capability to serve ex-offenders. We want to serve them, but the laws in Oklahoma, the way it is set up at this point, they are working on legislations right now to fix that sex offender, and where we're located, it's just not conducive for ex-offenders.
For the sex offenders.
Sex offenders at this time.
Okay.
So one of the criteria, you could not be a sex offender, has to be over 18, and in Oklahoma, you have to be a resident of Oklahoma. In some form, your crime has to be in Oklahoma, in Oklahoma, in order for us to do that. And you have to have 1 year or less on your expiration sentence.
Okay, so you can enter this program while you're still incarcerated.
Yes, it's a 180-day program, 90 days before release and 90 days after release, with a 2-year follow-up program.
Okay, now let's
aftercare program.
Let's break that down. 90 days before release. What does this program do prior to release then? What's happening?
We come inside the prison and we identify with the Department of Correction help and the warden's help in any facility. We identify people with 1 year or less on their sentence.
Okay.
And has to be on a level 4 category. In the prison system, you have different levels, level 1 to level 4. Okay. Level 4 being the highest. And at level 4, based on your crime, based on your sentence that you have, you can get a certain amount of credits based on if you're on level 4. Okay. So they identify those individuals in the Department of Correction system, and those are the people we target. It's a completely free program and completely volunteer program.
Okay. Now,
so,
let me ask this question then, because you said those are the people that you target.
mm-hmm.
Do you have a screening process? Do you interview people? Because I would imagine you'd have a lot more people wanting to participate maybe than you have space, and that's another thing. Do you have a limit to the number you can take?
Yes. Our program, as I said, is 180 days, 90 days on the outside. And based on that, based on our facility where we're at right now, we're only able to take 70.
70, okay.
70, and our program is an education program. We rehabilitate through education. And each session is a 10-week session. So we take a maximum of 70 people for a 10-week session.
Okay, so with this, then there's got to be a pretty intensive screening process that you go through once you receive these candidates.
Yes. Once we go into the prison and you're on that list that meets the criteria, we come in, we make a presentation to that set of individuals that are identified. And because it's a volunteer program, it's not a paid program, we're not forcing you to take this program. It's a program that you volunteer because you have to want to change. You have to want to have a different life when you get out of prison in order to take our program. And when we made that presentation, the individuals decided whether or not they want to take this program. They sign up, we come and we do a thorough research on that individual, all their crimes that they have committed, how much crimes they've committed, how much times they've been a recidivist of the system. And we take all of that into consideration. Based upon that, then we accept them or reject them from the program. So we identify those individuals that are ready for change, that are ready to take that next step.
Okay.
And by identifying those, we do at least 3 to 4 visits with that individuals before they exit the prison system or leave or be on a discharge, or whether or not they are, just releasing on a discharge or have parole violations.
Let me ask this question. In your selection process, because in our next segment we'll get into even more details of the components. In your selection criteria, is it really important to have people that have family or support systems, or that really is not that high or significant? Because sometimes people don't really have that.
Fitting back in is actually that support system.
Okay.
Fitting back in is that support system that they need eventually when they get out. The statistic shows if you come out without a support system, within 6 months, you're going to be a product of recidivism. You are going to go back to prison because the system and the environment that is set up for you when you get out, it's not conducive for you to make it.
Okay.
So you have to have that support system. We do the wraparound program. When you get out, we wrap our hands around you. We work with your family. We work with you, whether it's immediate family, extended family, and we work with you and wrap our arms around you using education as a base to retrain you to think different. Because the outside world is completely different from being incarcerated.
Okay, well, what we're going to do is take a really quick break and come back and get into some more of those details of what type of educational outreach do you have and real life skill sets that you're helping people with, like life skills and that. So we'll get into some specifics.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Welcome back to continue our discussion talking about the Fitting Back In program. Joining me again is Dr. Billion Constable, the Executive Director. Let's jump in. Now, I wanted to ask you about some of these specifics in terms of, because this is an educational program that you're helping people with, what are some of the educational components of it? I mean, do you look at life skills? Do you look at anger management? Do you look at how to bank? Do you look at job skills? I mean, what do you look at?
Yes, we offer all of those that you mentioned, the life skills, and each of these classes are 10 weeks. And we offer life skills, anger management, substance abuse education, finance, basic financial class, computer 101 and computer 102, and career development and business ethics. And we offer a GED component, which is a partnership with the Union Public Schools, because a lot of people who get out of prison don't have their GED.
Right.
So we offer a free GED component that we partner with Union Public Schools, their teacher, and everything that teaches them to get their GED. Is a preparation course to the point of taking the exam. It's completely free program with the Union Public Schools that we offer the GED. But these classes that we offer, as I said, is 10-week. We go deeply into the skills that they need. And after their 8 weeks of, especially for the career development, and career development get deep into it by teaching them interview skills, resume writing, online, because today technology is changing.
Right, exactly.
And paper resumes are no longer used. It's more online resumes. We're teaching them to put their resumes online. You know, a lot of them have, you know, and we do work with men and women, not just men or just women. We do co-ed.
Good to hear.
Yeah, we do work with men and women, and we work with them from the start of a resume to the end of a resume, interview skills. We do mock interviews with them, and we tape these interviews, replay it, we critique it in class, and then we do live interviews after 8 weeks. At the 8th week of the program, it's now we're going to the job placement phase of the program, where we start sending them out on interviews, which we are partnered with a number of companies in town to place them in companies, and we're continually seeking new companies, you know, to hire ex-offenders, giving them an opportunity to prove themselves again. And a lot of these young men and women have trades, whether they had those trades before incarceration or they developed those trades while they're incarcerated. So we target their trade to place them in those jobs that their trades can be useful to them.
Now let me ask this, because with these skill sets that you're teaching, and you talked about the GED, do people have to travel? You mentioned Union Public Schools. Do they have to travel there, or do people come on site to a certain location so the individual doesn't have to worry about transportation and how am I going to get there, which might not lend to their success?
Well, this program with the Union Public School it targets different community. We have it in the Utica area, North Tulsa area, so we target the North Tulsa community or any other community that is close by, that they can come to that central location. So transportation is not a huge issue, because either they can walk to that location, and it's a community class that anybody from any community, even if you're not ex-offender, we open it up to the community.
Oh, that's excellent.
So anybody that don't have a GED or a high school diploma that want to get that can come to our location and receive that training, receive those classes, you know, and they do complete. We have a certified tester that comes in and tests them to see what level they are, and then based on that, they place them into that level, and they take them from the level they are to the GED test. So some people it takes a year, some people it takes 3 months, some people it takes a month, because they may leave high school at the 11th grade and never gone back, just ready now to take the test, just ready, because in today's society, without a high school diploma or a GED, it's hard to get a job.
It's even harder. Let me ask this question when it's open up to the general community. Your program is free. If you're not a part of the Fitting Back In program and you're coming for the GED, is it free to that individual as well?
Yes, it's free to that individual as well.
Okay, that is excellent.
Free.
Excellent. Now let me ask you this. Now you talked about sort of the job skills, because that's very important for people to be able to become productive, self-employed, so certain things may not get them back into difficulty. What about dressing? You know, we always have this dress for success, and I know that's a part of your program. How do people get clothes? I mean, how do they get you know, I mean, I can hear it, we can talk about it, but if I don't have the means to get it, I can't dress for success.
As a nonprofit organization, we do the same plea like every other nonprofit do to the community, to churches, to local areas, to donate clothes. And we have been very successful in getting donation and seeking still more donation of clothing for the individual. And not only for that, those individuals that need it, we also offer clothes to their kids. So we take kids' clothes. So as we said, we work with the whole family. And coming out of prison, there's no income. There's nothing. Going through a program for 10 weeks, we don't offer any income, no incentive. It has to be something inside of you that wants to change. That's want to develop that change and make it your own, that prison is never going to be my home anymore. This is something. So we do have a Dress for Success on site where we get donations from the community and thank the community for doing that for us because they continue making donations, and we are tax donated organization, tax exempt organization, so you get a tax write-off for donating. So we're welcoming more donations, and we give these clothes to all our clients for free, no cost. They can come in and dress for jobs. We have a specific business setting clothes for them to come in. Every time they're going on an interview, we try to give them an outfit for an interview. So they are ready and able to step up to the table at any time.
And I will put up information at the end of the show of how to get in touch with you for people who want to look at offering jobs, giving donations, or somehow maybe volunteering to participate. Let me ask you this one quick question, because in our last segment, I'll tell people now that we will have a person who's actually participated in your program. Crystal's going to join us and talk about and share her story and the experiences that she's had. I do want to ask you this one last quick question. Do you assist with housing?
Yes, we do. It's not a segment of our program where we offer housing. And thanks to our partners that are out there for the last 7 years, and thanks to one generous organization that donated 7 houses to us, that we're in the process of rehabilitating those houses right now so we can have our own housing program to place our clients in. We call them clients, not ex-offenders. We just don't want to have them a number. They're human beings, they're individuals that have made some mistakes and willing and ready to move along from those mistakes.
And once again, I will put up information about how to get in touch with you for people that want to look at donating housing, clothing, volunteering, being a part of the program. This is a wonderful program and a service. Let me ask you too in our last little bit here, because Crystal will join us, who will share her story in terms of her sort of life experiences and experience with the program in our last segment. But for you, how successful has this program been? Because sometimes we hear all kind of great things about a program and it's like, tell us.
I am really excited to talk about this part of the program because it has been such a success program, and the client has received so much from it. And not only them, we as staff members of the Fitting Back In are so excited when we see one of our clients become so successful. We have over 1,200 people have gone through our program already, and we have a formal graduation after every 10 weeks, and they graduate with the caps, gowns, and everything. And when they graduate, we track them for 2 years, as I said. They complete this program. They go on to have jobs, go to college, you know, reintegrate with their family and doing well. And we have a success rate of a 97% success rate as of today, with only 58 ex-offenders have gone back to prison from our class, from our program thus far in 7 years.
And really quickly, because I'm really pretty much out of time for this segment, but really quickly, do you allow those who've gone through the program before, if they end up back in prison, to try again?
Yes, yes, we believe in second chances, third chances, and fourth chances.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining me, Dr. Constable.
Thank you.
Please stay with us. We'll be right back and talk with Crystal.
Did you know that getting up and getting active for just 60 minutes a day is all it takes to help you get stronger, look better, and feel great?
Or that fresh fruits and veggies aren't just healthier and crunchier, they can taste better too?
Eating better and getting more active is easier than you think.
Yeah! Keep watching for some fun and easy ways to discover the magic of healthy living in your life.
America.
Let's get healthy together!
Hello, welcome back. We're going to continue our discussion talking about the Fitting Back In program, and joining me is Crystal Gentry. Welcome to the program, Crystal.
Thank you.
Now, I'd like for you, as comfortable as you are with what you want to say, share with us your experience and what led you to prison.
I was living a life of drugs and just got caught up doing the wrong things, and I got some drug charges and some gun charges, and here I am.
Okay. Now, how long of a sentence did you have?
I have a 9-year sentence.
Had a 9-year sentence, okay. Now, in terms of the Fitting Back In program, how did you come to that program? Did you sort of access it while you were still in prison? Dr. Constable mentioned within the last year they come in and they look. Did you have that kind of experience or after? Tell me about it.
Well, I'm incarcerated right now.
Okay.
So I'm at the Turley Work Center, and they come and they kind of, not recruit, but they do interviews, ask people if they want to sign up for the program.
Okay.
And so I read a little bit about it, what they offer, the classes, and so I went for the interview, and I loved what they had to offer, so I joined.
Okay. Now, in terms of when you heard it and from when you joined, was there, because he talked about sort of a selection process.
Right.
Was there a long period of time before you heard whether or not you were selected?
No, ma'am. It was pretty much right there. I mean, Fitting Back In, it's a big prison ministry back at Eddie Warriors and the prison yards. They have it. They even go there and interview people for once, because it's a step. Prison is. It's a step you have to go through, a process. You know, you go from one facility to the other due to your days, your security, your points.
Okay.
So once you get down to a certain level, which I am, you know, you have a little more access to things, like you can go to school. So they go way back and interview people for when they get down to the assessment where you can be, like your days and the requirements and eligibility.
Okay. Now, what are they doing with you since you're still incarcerated? What's happening with you now? Are they doing life sort of skill classes with you? I mean, what happens while you're still in prison? What has been your experience?
Well, actually, what happens is they come and pick us up, or the center brings us, and the classes that I take, you can basically choose your classes. When you have an assessment for Fitting Back In, they ask you questions and they kind of assess you and put you in classes that you need. Like I'm taking career development, computers, which is Microsoft Word, basic finance, parenting, and thinking for a change. So when I was assessed, you know, those are the classes I was interested in, and they pretty much put me where I needed and wanted to be.
Okay, now you said one of them was called Thinking for Change?
Thinking for a Change.
Thinking for a Change. What's involved in that?
It's actually a really good class. It's a credited class that Mr. Constable had said if you complete it, you get 30 credits for it. It's a cognitive behavior class. It's go in and it tries to retrain your thought. You know, so when you go out there this time, instead of having the negative or the bad thoughts or that spontaneous moment, you know, it gives you the tools to know to stop and think, and to think about your thinking, really what you're thinking about, because that's what leads you to do the things that you do. So if you can train your thought to do the right thing or try to do the right thing, be alert, then you're less likely to do wrong.
Okay, now you also mentioned parenting skills. What's
Yes,
involved in the parent? And I guess, do you have children?
Yes, ma'am, I have 2.
Okay, okay.
Parenting, it just basically goes back to instilling values and morals and how to raise kids without a drugs or violence, or try to teach them the right way to do things, not to go down the same road that I did. You know, my kids are more apt to do that because I did, so therefore taking this parenting class, I can maybe change something that they may do in their behavior or something that comes up as they get older, and I can see it and maybe catch it before it gets out of hand or something.
And know how to deal with it in a more positive way versus maybe a reactive, negative way. Okay, now, as a part of this, especially since you have children or other family members, are they at this point involved in the program with you in some form?
No, ma'am. I'm just in the program by myself for now. Maybe one day I hope to have it all together, but right for now it's just me and Fitting Back In.
Okay, and as he mentioned, he did talk about the continual support and programs after you leave the prison setting, so you still have that to go.
Yes, ma'am. It's a wonderful With Fitting Back In, it's wonderful. They offer tools, skills, and knowledge that some people just like me didn't have, or really the hope. You know, it is, I feel that I can go out there and get a job and do the right thing, whereas maybe before I was taking these computer classes, the parenting classes, it just gives me hope, confidence, and the ability.
That is excellent. Now let me ask another question of you. You talked about the basic finance. Now what's really in that? Is it as basic as how to balance a checkbook, how to maintain your bank account, how to look at money? I mean, tell me.
Everything, from handling money, opening checking accounts, savings accounts, being able to know the percent of a credit card, the rate that you pay, and how much you would actually pay if you borrowed such amount. It's a great class it just gives you the little things that you really didn't know that could help you save money, teaches you the goals, long-term and short-term goals. It's just a really nice class. It's just, like I said, the small things that you really didn't know. Like, I'd never had a goal before, really, you know, as in for my money. I got money to spend. That's what I thought money was for. But this class has taught me that, you know, money is to save. You can save money. You don't have to always, you know, just spend it. And then that's where, in the long term of your life, when you can own a home with the money that you've saved. You know, or the goal that you've made for that money after a long term. Short term is a 6-month goal. Long term is 1 year or more.
Excellent.
I didn't know that.
Excellent.
So it just teaches you a lot of things.
Okay, and what sounds like, it's sort of, like you said, it gives you hope of what you can reach. And it sort of allows you to put it in a concrete way by having real goals. And what does it take to get there versus just thinking magically I'll get there? But what steps do you really have to take to reach that goal?
Well, depending on the goal, right now my goal is to complete this program. I'm going to do it twice, maybe even 3 times.
Okay.
I'm going to go until I can't go anymore.
Okay.
So my goal right now is to complete my prison sentence with this program as support, and at the end have a nice job to go to, because I'll be able to go to work here in about May or June. I'll be able to go to work, and my goal is to get a job through Fitting Back In with these skills that they've given me. So it's going to be a minute before I can actually get out there and have a goal for life, but right now it's to get a job and complete my prison sentence.
You have these short-term goals, which are excellent, getting to those long-term goals.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much for joining me, Crystal, and I wish you continued success.
Thank you.
Well, that's our show. For Health Alert, I'm Pam Butler. I'd love to hear your questions, comments, or suggestions for future shows. Please write me at Health Alert USA, P.O. Box 50913, Tulsa, Oklahoma 74150. Or if you're on the email trail, please email me at healthalertusa@gmail.com. And also visit me on YouTube at youtube.com/Health Alert USA. And remember, check into this program for your loved ones or even for yourself and get all of the benefits you can to have a healthy, happy, productive life. Take care.